Today on TriRiot, wildlife. And I'm not talking about fraternity parties, although I can think of a few that were worth talking about. Welcome to TriRiot, the show that uncovers the mysteries of why ordinary people push themselves to extraordinary limits. I'm LG, host of the show. Well, spring is finally here. Birds are singing, the sun is out, and it is beautiful. And finally, after 5 months of riding my bike indoors, I felt the wind in my face, and not from a box fan. It is just a gorgeous day out here. It is the first day of the year that I've been able to get outside and ride my bike. Up until this point, it's all been trainer rides indoor, and I was doing that so much that I was getting used to it. I was actually starting to like it, and that's really not a bad thing. But so here I am outside and finally on the road. Being outside like that makes me think of wildlife. If you've ever ridden your bike in the country, you know what I mean. Birds, squirrels, drunk drivers, deer, bear. I'm just kidding about the drunk drivers, sort of. I ride my bike a lot with two other characters, Mike and Marty, and almost every ride with them is an adventure. Here's Marty talking about his most memorable interaction with wildlife.
I noticed my speedometer wasn't working. And so Mike was about 100 yards up in front of me, so I kind of tried to speed up a little bit to get to him and just ask how fast we were going. And so I was in my aero bars, and I looked over at Mike and I said, you know, how fast are we going? I was about equal to his back wheel. And he told me, and right after he told me, out of the corner of my eye, I saw like a brown something kind of coming at me. And I turned my head real fast and said, deer! And next thing I remember, I turned my head, because I thought I was going to get stabbed with his antlers, and just got hit on my left side. I believe I flipped over and landed on this shoulder. My helmet was scratched up, and I ended up breaking my hand. There's a plate in my hand, my collarbone, and a couple of ribs.
Hit by a deer on his bicycle. You can imagine how traumatic that would be.
Now, if I just hear something in the woods, I'm always turning my head. I'm a little deer shy. Even the squirrels freak me out now. And just I hear them rustling in the woods, thinking something coming at me when we're riding. But we were somewhere, Pinehurst, when we were training for Ironman Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, yeah.
And we're riding, and I said, Mike, we better not see any deer out here riding. And within 5 minutes, there's a deer crossing in front of us. And all you do is turn back at me and laugh because you think that's funny. Then we were actually in Lake Placid, like 3 days before the race, riding up the backside of the course. And what did we see that day? Deer on the course when we were. That was that Thursday, and the race was on Sunday.
You're a deer magnet.
I am. It is not cool.
A couple of years ago, Mike and I were riding through the Holly Shelter Game Preserve when we came across a bear. We came up to this spot right here, and there was a bear lying on the road. Well, it was half on the road and half on the shoulder. And he must have walked out of the woods. You can see how dense the woods are here. Well, the bear looked like he was sleeping. I mean, he was probably dead, but he looked like he was sleeping. There was no blood. There was no evidence of a car had hit him. No glass, no plastic shattered on the road, no skid marks, nothing. In fact, I kind of wanted to poke the bear with a stick, but my common sense told me better. But we went on riding. We went on for another probably 40 miles, and we came back to this very spot. And about, I don't know, two and a half hours later, and the bear was gone. Probably what happened, somebody picked up the bear and in a pickup truck and took him home, and he's now standing in the corner of their house, stuffed with a big expression on his face. I'm actually not convinced that bear was dead. I've got a squirrel story too. The little bastard, in fact, was dead in the middle of the road, and as soon as my front tire got even with him, he sprang back to life, boom, and ran off the road. Scared the hell out of me. I mean, I saw him from 20 yards away, just lying in the middle of the road. What the hell was he doing? Sleeping? I mean, you would think that Darwinism would favor the wildlife that stays off of those big black asphalt strips that divide up their habitat. No, I'm just saying. That's all for this episode of TriRiot. If you have a wildlife story, tell me about it right here in the YouTube comments, on my website, on Twitter, or on Facebook, facebook.com/TriRiot. You could even tell me in person, but that wouldn't be very digital of you now, would it? You can make it easier to join me each episode by subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I believe the subscribe button is right down here. Well, join me next time when I'll be cleaning bear scat off of my bike tires and human scat out of my pants. Until then, stay to the right, pass on the left, and keep on smiling. For TriRiot, I'm LG.